This is an excerpt from the 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferris. Being effective versus being efficient. Effectiveness is doing the things that get you closer to your goals. Efficiency is performing a given task, whether important or not, in the most economical manner possible. Being efficient without regard to effectiveness is the default mode of the universe. I would consider the best door-to-door salesperson efficient, that is, refined and excellent at selling door-to-door without wasting time, but utterly ineffective. He or she would sell more using a better vehicle, such as email or direct mail. This is also true for the person who checks email 30 times per day and develops an elaborate system of folder rules and sophisticated techniques for ensuring that each of those 30 brain farts moves as quickly as possible. I was a specialist at such a professional wheel spinning. It is efficient on some perverse level, but far from effective. Here are two truisms to keep in mind. 1. Doing something unimportant well does not make it important. 2. Requiring a lot of time does not make a task important. From this moment forward, remember this. What you do is infinitely more important than how you do it. Efficiency is still important, but it is useless unless applied to the right things. To find the right things, we'll need to go to the garden. Pareto and his garden, 80-20, and freedom from futility. Quote, what gets measured gets managed. Peter Drucker, management theorist, author of 31 books, recipient of Presidential Medal of Freedom. 4 years ago, an economist changed my life forever. It's a shame I never had a chance to buy him a drink. My dear Vilfredo died almost 100 years ago. Vilfredo Pareto was a wily and controversial economist cum sociologist who lived from 1848 to 1923. An engineer by training, he started his varied career managing coal mines and later succeeded Leon Walras as the chair of social economy at the University of Lausanne in Switzerland. His seminal work, Cours d'économie politique, included a then little explored law of income distribution that would later bear his name, Pareto's Law, or the Pareto distribution, in the last decade also popularly called as the quote-unquote 80-20 principle. The mathematical formula he used to demonstrate a grossly uneven but predictable distribution of wealth in society. 80% of the wealth and income produced and possessed by 20% of the population also applied outside of economics. Indeed, it could be found almost everywhere. 80% of Pareto's garden peas were produced by 20% of the pea pods he had planted, for example. Pareto's law can be summarized as follows. 80% of the outputs result from 20% of the inputs. Alternative ways to phrase this, depending on the context, include 80% of the consequences flow from 20% of the causes. 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort and time. 80% of the company profits come from 20% of the products and customers. 80% of all stock market gains are realized by 20% of the investors and 20% of the individual portfolio. The list is infinitely long and diverse. The ratio is often skewed even more severely. 90-10, 95-5, and 99-1 are not uncommon, but the minimum ratio to seek is 80-20.